Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mega Strange Mailbag. Today, we're going to be answering calls from the Mega Strange hotline. If you have a story about something strange, something weird, paranormal, perhaps, extra points if it's scary and terrifying. If you have a story like that, call up the hotline. The phone number is in the info below and leave us a message. We go through these messages every week. We try to pull out the best ones. I should say,
yes,
we have so many good calls.
Oh, yeah.
But oftentimes, there's just technical difficulties. Either the phone is crackling or it's garbled, or it's really quiet. Sometimes the stories are really good.
Yeah.
And we just can't share the calls because of technical difficulties. If you feel like you have a really great story and we haven't gotten to it, you may be a victim of one of those calls.
Yeah. Call again. I've noticed one thing that happens sometimes. There's a 3-minute cutoff window for the messages. We do not want anything over like a minute and a half. So if it cuts out in the 3-minute thing and you call back and then add another 3 minutes, that's a surefire way how you're going to get cut. And I'm not even calling out a specific person. It's been multiple people. Not a bad thing. I just want to put it out there and let everyone know.
I just want to encourage people, call us up, share
Please,
your stories.
Yes.
Keep it brief if possible. And,
Yes.
try again if we haven't gotten to your story. We have a couple of calls tonight that we're really excited to get to. Mm-hmm. But before we get to that, I just want to say you should be following us on Instagram, Mega Strange Podcast on Instagram. Also, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, do it.
What are you doing?
Subscribing to us on YouTube is the number one thing you can do to help this show grow and succeed and get bigger. We have new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday, and you don't want to miss them, so subscribe on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Okay, let's get to our first call today. I don't even know what these calls are about, actually. I'm going in blind.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, guys. Steve from DC here. On your Chicago episode, Derek recently mentioned seeing something at night that makes you question reality.
Yes.
So I grew up in North Jersey in a rural area.
Shouts out.
I was used to seeing deer at night every time I would drive home from a friend's house.
Okay.
So one night it's about 3 a.m. I'm driving home from my friend's place, and I see something in the road coming up. I can't quite make out what it is, but I slow down to go around it. And as I'm about to pass it, I notice that it is a round ball of possums, multiple possums that have formed a perfectly round ball.
Possum King.
Possum King!
Oh, and it's just chilling in the middle of the road, not moving. I don't know if they're asleep or dead or what's happening.
They're playing possum.
I just drive by, don't talk to anybody about it. And I've been questioning my reality ever since. It was up until a few weeks ago that a friend of mine posted a meme of Katamari Damacy rolling a ball of possums. And when I saw that, it totally brought back memories of that night. And I feel like my sanity's been restored. So I sent the pic to the Mega Strange Insta if you guys want to check it out.
Oh, he sent a pic.
What? Hold on.
I imagine him seeing the meme and then the big text from Elden Ring pops off, just sanity restored.
Sanity restored. I'm on the Mega Strange Instagram right now. He didn't give a name, did he?
No, he did. Yeah.
Handle.
Well, he said in the beginning here.
Hey guys, Steve from DC here.
Steve from DC.
While you're doing that, I have another story from New Jersey as well that's similar. One time I was walking home from Target, and it was like a scene from an A24 movie. It's me and I just see a deer looking back at me. And I just see the eyes, and I'm imagining it cuts to me, cuts back to them, and then all of a sudden I just hear galloping, and then I feel wind rush across my nose. And I'm what the fuck was that? And then I hear something jump into the woods. I think a deer just ran past me, but I felt wind against my nose. It was that close. And that was a moment where I was a deer could fucking kill me if it really wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
And it made them really scary to me.
I feel like deer run into cars and cause major accidents.
Yeah.
A deer is several hundred pounds and moves at 40 miles an hour. That thing will mess you up.
Yeah, it was in that moment I realized how fast they can run too, because it sounded like a fucking horse.
And they're like stupid and blind.
Yeah.
Like they're just like living battering rams.
If I was maybe like an inch forward, I probably would have been impaled. Like
You wouldn't even be here today.
100, or I would have gotten something. I
Death by
felt
deer.
like across my face.
I found Steve's picture, and maybe you can put this on the screen for people at home to see.
That's the meme.
That's the possum ball.
Yeah. I thought he had a picture of the one he actually saw, but I'll definitely put the meme in there.
That's just the similar one to I've
restored.
never seen a possum ball. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
The thing I saw, if people don't remember, that made me question my reality was driving home from Los Angeles at about 3 a.m, halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Oh yeah,
Is
I forgot.
a military base called Camp Pendleton, and at the bottom of Camp Pendleton starts the town of Oceanside, and there's a little beach peninsula right there at the border of Camp Pendleton and Oceanside. It looked like a alien circus. It was some sort of what appeared to be a green glowing circus tent, but it also could have looked like a UFO because it was at a distance. I assumed it was a circus tent, but it had this light, this green light shooting straight up into the sky. This was at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
What's a circus doing with a massive green light at 2 a.m?
Also, this is like a military base, right?
It's on the border of the military base and the edge of Oceanside on the beach.
Yeah.
But I often see them doing military drills on the beach with like helicopters and amphibious vehicles. Sometimes you see convoys of armored vehicles coming down the highway when you're driving through that portion of California. It could be a military experiment. It could be, honestly, it looked like that 1999 video game Kiss Psycho Circus.
I forgot about that
where
game.
Kiss made a shooter. That's what I thought at the time. I was like, it's the Psycho Circus. I don't know what it was. Sean and Rocco were in the car with me. They saw it as
witnesses.
well. We all saw it. Nobody knows what it was. It was weird.
I want to add to this because like I'm really like, if you want to call in and you don't have like a paranormal story, I'll just send your weird stories in, because I can't speak for you. I get a kick out of hearing about possum balls or
Mega Strange. It's not just about ghosts.
Yeah.
It's about all things weird.
Yeah.
Weird history, urban legends, strange things that actually happened. We did a whole episode about movie curses and supposed urban legends for movies.
People love that episode too.
We did an episode about the music industry. In fact, this Saturday, we have another music industry episode coming up. At least that's what's on our schedule.
Oh, shit. Dropping hints.
Have you been researching the wrong topic?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, are we going to get...
We're talking about Japanese yokai.
That's slated for mid-April.
Okay.
We got to go back to our calendar.
Yep. You're
seeing a little bit of
the updates.
Inside baseball here.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, why was I talking about that?
I don't know.
How do we even get on our schedule? Oh, yeah. It's not all monsters. It's not all ghost stories. It just could be weird stuff, bizarre stuff, peculiar things, quirky things. Recently, we did an interview with the Thought Cops, our friends from Chicago. They shared this story about the Dave Matthews bus dumping a ton of sewage onto a boat full of people on the Chicago River.
Classic story.
That's just a strange cosmic coincidence that the boat and the bus would just intercede right there. That's fateful. If you have a fateful story, you can call us up and share it as well.
Please, because I have a plethora of weird stories, and if you remind me of one, I'll let you know.
Okay,
I'll tell the world.
I want to hear some of your weird stories.
I have to get my memory jogged before I could. I told you about the deer.
That's true. That's true. You're good for today. I'm trying to think if I have any weird stories like that, but I don't. Not off the top of my head. Let's go to the next call.
Sure.
Do you have another one?
Yes.
Hey, Johnny and Derek. This
Hello.
is Ari from San Francisco. I'm calling because I wanted to get your guys' opinion on pharmacological sightings. So not to get to Joe Rogan on this, but I was thinking about how a lot of legends might be born from, like drug use in history. Kind of got me thinking, like, I wonder if you guys came across anything like that in your research. And I really honestly was wondering, like, how much sightings from ghosts and like things like that are actually from that kind of stuff. Anyway, just an interesting thought. I wanted to get your take. Love your guys' show. Huge inspiration. Thank you. Bye.
That's a great call.
Yeah. Okay. So this is an interesting topic. The question here is,
this is going to be a long discussion.
Drugs, pharmacological induced paranormal experiences. Basically, when you are under the influence of something and you're in an altered state of mentality, you may experience paranormal things. Are those things really happening? Or are they just internal hallucinations from within you? Or are they both? And are they connected in some way?
Yeah, I assume this person's call is kind of bringing up the concept of like maybe ghost sightings from like a long, long time ago, or maybe just hallucinations.
I've thought about this often,
Yeah.
and I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, you may have heard of this, and this is a highly, I think at this point, scoffed at theory of evolution.
Stoned ape theory.
The stoned ape theory, which is...
That's Joe Rogan's like, that's
Joe Rogan's bread and butter.
On,
that's the hill he wants to die on. Well, let's recap what this theory is as far as my understanding. Human beings, scientifically speaking, should not exist because there is a lineage of evolution of Homo sapiens, but we have what is known as the missing link.
Yeah.
At some point, the humans we have today with our mind and our consciousness and our self-awareness, that was like a huge mental jump from the evolutionary step before us.
Yeah.
And how did that happen? Some people have proposed the stoned ape theory, which is that we didn't come from gorillas. We are descendants of some sort of, not Neanderthals, but another species that was around at the same time as Neanderthals.
Yeah, like Cro-Magnon.
Yeah, let's call them pre-humans.
Yeah.
They're like Neanderthals. They're our ancestors. And these pre-humans, or the things that came before these.
Sorry, I want to just side note. My dad always yells at me when I say Neanderthal, and
Neanderthal.
Neanderthal. I'm like, bro, stop.
I'm pretty sure both are acceptable. And
I think
I'm sure one is more acceptable than the other. Anyways, before we were humans, we were dumb hybrid monkey men, and we were just eating random stuff. And one of us, or a whole culture of us, started eating
like psilocybin, like
mushrooms or something else, some sort of hallucinogenic.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like an ayahuasca root. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it like triggered evolution in our minds. Yeah. What's hard for me to buy about that is that could be passed on biologically, but it might be, you know, it could potentially. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, because like I get it. Like a lot of these drugs use parts of your brains we don't usually use, and I know the theory kind of says like, oh, maybe the parts of a monkey's brain got, you know, stimulated and then it passed that gene on. And I'm like, I'm with you. I don't think you could pass that on.
It's an interesting theory, and it's, you know, I just feel like it doesn't quite connect all the way, because then why aren't we just getting monkeys high today until they start talking to us?
Exactly.
You know, like why can't we?
100%. That literally is like the
maybe I'm being naive, and maybe it was like, well, Derek, this was like a steady diet of these hallucinogenics over thousands of years that caused evolution to happen gradually. Okay, maybe
we'd be able to see some progress maybe if we did it for like a couple hundred years maybe.
So that's one aspect
I'm speaking
of this topic. You know, we're talking about pharmacological experiences. This doesn't even get into paranormal. This is just like the human mind. Where did it come from? All right, but here we are. We don't know where we came from, but we know where we are. Where are we going? I also think that looking through, well, let me give you a concrete example of when this has absolutely happened.
Yeah.
If you go back to Greek mythology and ancient Greek history, you have the oracles.
Yes.
And most famously, you have the Oracle of Delphi. The oracles were mystical priestesses or priests, religious figures in the ancient Greek world who could communicate with the dead, communicate with the other side, could have premonitions about the future.
Yeah.
But we've pretty much come to know that the oracles were like huffing fumes. That the temple of the Oracle of Delphi was built over like volcanic exhaust, natural gases that were
like
emitting
sulfur.
Yeah, which would basically poison. They built this room over this exhaust coming out of the ground, and the person would go in there and get fucking wasted.
Yeah.
And the people would come in and talk to them and be like, oh, if you go to war, you better put 2 pennies on your pinky because otherwise it might bleed. And then they'd be like, wow, what does that mean? And they write it down and they like decipher it.
Yeah.
But they believed that the oracle was communicating with the gods, was talking to the fates, or had knowledge of the future, or could commune with the dead. But the oracle was just getting high off of fumes. The oracle was like huffing paints.
This is something I also want to talk about, like real quick. Maybe you know more than me about this because I wish I could remember where I heard this from. But this may be more medieval. But I heard like a lot of people would drink from cups and eat from bowls that are made of lead, and they would get like lead poisoning from this. And so a lot of people would like hallucinate from that as well and see like ghosts.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
But what I have heard of, if we're going medieval, is that witches flying on a broomstick was actually a euphemism, because these witches wouldn't actually ride a broomstick and fly through the air, but would instead lube up the broomstick with a hallucinogenic ointment.
Oh, okay.
and then
do what?
Straddle that broomstick with their genitalia.
Okay.
And would, through this process, begin to hallucinate, and thus flying on a broomstick.
The original butt chug.
The original butt chug. And thus that is what flying on a broomstick was. And then when they're in the throes of this psychosis.
Yo, bro, you want to come over? We're going to be flying on the broomstick, bro.
You want to fly on the broomstick tonight, baby? And then probably the same thing that the Oracle of Delphi would experience, communicating with the dead, predicting the future, talking to the fates, or whatever it is you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
Point is, specifically with the Oracle, this was like a religious experience. So it was not just like a, yo, dude, you're never going to believe what I saw. No, this was like this person has witnessed something from the other side, and we're going to take it seriously.
There was no kind of like context for this stuff. Like, we have context. We know that these drugs change your perception. To them, it was like, I did a thing and then I saw God. Yeah.
And then that's to my third point. I think there's a lot of religions, world religions, where the leaders of the religions, the shamans, partake in hallucinogenic substances, and they are very open to their experiences. And they know that this is being induced by this process, but it doesn't make it any less real. Because I'm experiencing it, and I'm living this experience, and therefore it is a part of my reality. And since I am the leader of this religion, if it's part of my reality, then it's a spiritual experience. Yada, yada, yada. I think that if you look at Native American lore and you hear about creatures like the Thunderbird, I personally think the Thunderbird might be something you see when you're on a hallucinogenic drug. Maybe it's peyote or mushrooms. I think going on a spiritual journey and taking drugs and experiencing a creature that may be just in your mind is a significant thing in certain cultures. And so I don't want to say like those things aren't real. I think that, you know, they go on to be mythical characters in the folklore, like Thunderbirds, maybe Sasquatch even. Maybe Sasquatch.
All I'm going to say, what was the bush that was burning in front of Moses, bro?
Yeah.
Burning that bush.
Moses was burning that bush. Maybe Moses lit this bush on fire and then got so
high,
puffed up off the fumes, the bush started talking to him and was like, bro, you're fucking up.
Fuck, dude, thou shalt not murder. Fuck, all right, that's a good one.
Yeah.
To love thy neighbor. Fuck, all right.
There's a book out there that I haven't read it. I've kind of like perused it. It's called Breaking Open the Head, and it's kind of all about the use of substances to expand consciousness.
Yeah.
I know it talks about cultures in South America using ayahuasca for their like ceremonies, and it kind of touches on this topic in general. If you're interested in this, that's a book that I would recommend for people to check out. But to put an end cap on it, to bring it really modern.
Bow.
Yeah. I know a dude who took mushrooms. His name is Adam. and he saw what he says was his spirit animal.
What was it?
Adam is a white kid from San Diego who listens to Bob Marley and the whole genre of dub music.
You don't need to tell me about dub music. I'm a ska fan from back in the day. I know about dub music.
Yeah, it's just to give you, like, Adam is not an extremely spiritual religious person.
Well, he had to see Jaw, dude.
But he did see, he said that he took mushrooms and was walking through a park and he saw, I'm trying to remember what it was. I want to say it was like a golden alligator walking through the park. And he said that I
saw a dog.
He's like, I felt a connection. I knew it wasn't real. I knew I was dreaming it, hallucinating it, but it was my spirit animal. I saw my spirit animal. I am the golden alligator. You know?
Does he have a golden alligator tattooed on him?
He should. Yeah. He doesn't though.
Oh. That's amazing.
You know, for Adam, the golden alligator is very significant. It's a moment in his life that was a significant moment. That's all I can say on the subject, really. You know, if it's real to you, then it's real to you. And it kind of doesn't matter what other people think.
I can't not imagine just like dub music playing and then he just sees like a fucking yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Interior crocodile alligator.
I saw a golden gator.
He probably was just watching that video. Thought he was in the park seeing his spirit animal. He's really like on a couch watching a 42-inch TV, just playing interior crocodile alligator.
I think about I drive a Chevrolet movie theater a lot. I think about that line because I'm like, what the fuck is that? Shouts
out, by the way, last week we did a little quick quote of Tenacious D and said nobody was going to get it. I think about 5 people in the comments got it.
I shouts out to the one person that thought we were referencing those 2 machines that they put next to each other and Twitch streamed, and eventually they started talking about God.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Google
funny.
Home.
Yeah. So that's funny. But yeah, they got the Tenacious D reference.
Yeah, that made me really happy.
Me too.
All right. Well, hey, I think that wraps up our short mailbag episode of Mega Strange today. Like I said, call in the hotline. The number is in the info below. Share your story with us. We're going to be back next Tuesday with another mailbag episode. We're going to be back this Saturday at noon with an episode. Is it going to be about the music industry? Is it going to be about Japanese monsters? You'll have to tune in to find out. We'll see you there. Stay strange, everybody. Bye-bye.